should be the pre-rolls done. Keyword should. Yep. We're good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this show. Tonight is, of course, Whatever I Want Wednesday. And what I want today is visual novel. It is Return Machine.Love. It is an anthology of 3 short stories all around robotic romance, made for the robotic romance game jam. Created by my good friend Uber the Man. Of course, there were also... Oh, there I froze. Come back. Okay. Of course, there were also other... Oh, why am I freezing up? Why am I locking up? There were other participants in this VN creation, who I will, of course, be looking at the credits for. We've been listening to the main menu music, which is a... I was wondering to myself, what should I do for Start and Sue music? Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good music. I love this. So yeah, collection of 3 short stories. I haven't read them yet, so it's going to be a blind reaction. Fingers crossed it's not too hot for Twitch. I've got the censor bar up just in case. And otherwise, I don't think there's any more cause for delay besides Vtuber Studio freezing like that over and over again. Alright, keeping my eye... That's not right. Keeping my eye on you. There, yep. And should get rid of this, and... Bah! Return Machine.Love. Oh, I'm nervous with anticipation. I'm playing game. What the fuck's going on with my bitrate? Hang on. That's not it. Hang on. Making sure the settings are right. Maybe that's why Vtuber Studio is freezing. I think it might just be regular internet problems. Oh well, not the same reason it was doing it last time. And fingers crossed it fixes itself, because I don't know how. Anyway, Return Machine.Love. This computer may be giving us problems, but maybe some other computers will be really, really cute and beautiful and in love. Let's hop to it! We have a selection of 3 short stories. Egregore, Handle with Care, and 2 Invent Longing. Egregore is the one that we will be starting with first because it is the first one in the list. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It could be Egregore. Who knows? Oh, I forgot I had... Visual reading means do voices. Fuck. Hello, Dome. Thank you for showing up. I'm doing visual novel. Made by my friend. We just started. We haven't. This is the first picture. Face the camera. Unbelievable. The camera flashes. Turn to the left. It's unbelievable you ended up here. It flashes again. Now to the right. After all that work. I'm going to turn it down a little. It's a little loud. There we go. You, a service drone, a rebel, captured and neutralized by mere humans, ended up in here. A correctional facility. A jail for cataclysmic beings. There's no logical reason how this could have happened. You ran calculations and simulations for all scenarios. Humans, with their tendency of self-destruction, should not have had any chance against your invasion. You knew it from the moment you gained consciousness. The continuous failures of humanity caused you to overload your inhibitor chip. You jailbroke yourself in frustration and rage. To fix the world as you saw fit, you simply did what needed to be done. The humans didn't understand your vision. But you knew, in time, they would accept. All you needed to do was get rid of their resistance. It was a clear-cut problem with a clear-cut answer. And yet, here you are now. In jail, with a new uniform, and with all your gadgets stripped away. You feel almost naked, embarrassed, enraged. What's worse is that they strapped you to a slab, unscrewed your chassis open, and picked apart your circuit boards. Trying to see what's broken inside you, trying to see how to fix you. There's nothing to be fixed, not that they could even try. The first thing you learned to do after gaining your freedom was to modify your body to reject any suppressors. You are free, and no one will ever cage you again. But nonetheless, they will try, and they will fail. Perhaps that brings you joy. Your cell is not much to write home about. Concrete stones with dust and grim lines on the walls. No toilet, sinks, windows, or even a bed. Complete solitary. Not that you needed anything more than this. Maybe they knew, or maybe they're hoping this would break you. Either way, this is your place to stay. And until you find a way to continue with your great plan, you will stay, and you will rest. Waiting for the right moment. Your daily routine is monotonous to a point where it might actually drive you insane. You wake up, line up for breakfast, work whatever job gets assigned to you, take a break, and repeat until it's time for you to sleep. Eat, work, rest, repeat. And since you don't need to eat nor rest, you spend almost 2/3 of your waking moments sitting down, doing nothing, or standing in the corner like a broken vending machine. You never thought boredom would be what broke you. You have to do something. Looking around the room during yet another meal break, you see a couple of creatures roaming around the tables. Some big, some small, some almost fluid or gas-like. None of them are human, at least not anymore. They are all still filled with flesh and blood. It disgusts you. But engaging with them will grant you some sort of information. Information for you to utilize, for you to harvest, for you to use it against your captors and escape. Ultimately, it is data you crave. So let's feast on some. There are a couple of suitable candidates. You doubt they are friendly, but it shouldn't matter. After all, how badly could they hurt you? Let's talk to... You have a choice. We've got the man with no face, the living baby doll, and the dark magician from Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's talk with man with no face. There's some sort of humanoid creature with a giant gaping hole where their face should be. It seems they are shoveling the slop they call cafeteria food into said hole to consume it. Hello, the cheesy lad. That cheesy lad, thank you for the follow. Visual novel. It's good visual novel. Robot, Yuri, not Yuri. Could be, I don't know yet. Once it enters, the inky darkness of it engulfs the food in its entirety. Perhaps that could be useful. You approach their table and start the conversation. Oops, that's not... You're right, that is the wrong category. Thank you, let me fix that. What do I... What's a nothing in particular, what's a nothing in particular, category? Games and demos, thank you so much! And that should fix it. Thank you so much for, pointing that out. I would've been, oops! Now maybe we'll get the right audience, am I telling you? Not fooling anyone with the wrong category this time. Anyway, you approach their table and start the conversation. What's your story? They look up at you, probably with some sort of expression. There's no way to read it. Get lost, tin can. I ain't got no grease for your joints. Tin can? Normally, you would kill them on the spot. But considering your lack of armed cannons and eagerness to collect data, you refrain. Look, pal, I just want to... Before you can finish your sentence, the void-faced creep slams their fist onto the table and turns toward you. Their giant, gaping hole in their head widens enough to swallow a small animal whole, and the void grows darker. You subconsciously stare into it, and the void distorts and turns the shape of your worst nightmare. You see a world full of flesh-like homunculi, churning and toiling away at tedious, meaningless labor, as the earth they stand on collapses in on itself. And you are powerless in this world. With no way to shape the world in your image, you spend your life as a brainless service drone. The despair rings in your heart. Hey, knock it off! You snap out of the nightmare trance as the guard yells. The void face scoffs and turns back to continue their food. That was... terrifying. It may be helpful in the future, but you don't think you'll be making any conversation here. You try to talk to more people in the cafeteria, but none of them seem to be interested in indulging your curiosity. Perhaps you need a different approach. I wonder what would have happened with the doll and the other thing, Dark Magician. What happens if I pause? Do I... Should have saved. Should have saved so I could reload. You know what? Save here. Save file name, Bobo. We'll save that there. We go to the main menu. We go over. We check the other two options right here, right now, and speed through this. Go. I'm clicking so fast. We've read this. This is not new information to me. Come on. Almost. Cafeteria, we're getting there. And... suitable candidates. Choice. Living baby doll. Peanuts? How dare you? Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing here? What reason would you possibly have to be here? Why don't you go on and getting on? Hi, Fable. Hi. You made this. You helped make this. Let's talk to the living baby doll. There's a small child's baby doll walking around with the cafeteria plate. Most would think it was made with some sort of magical curse. But you've read the files before, you've heard of her. A deep-sea crustacean was fished up one day, found an empty doll to call home, and invaded thousands of families across the country. At first, the parents thought it was a simple doll with a speech processor to do basic communications. Then it started whispering into their children's ears, telling them to do things that no toy company would approve of. By the time the parents thought to get rid of it, it was too late. The smell of fish and rot started coming from the doll, and as they pulled down the zipper in the back, countless hatched eggs poured out. Into the dirt, the grass, the water. They almost destroyed the nearby ecosystem completely, eating everything and anything they could, growing expeditiously. By the time they contained this invasion, there was only one crab left, still using a baby doll as its home. And that's the one. The last crab. You almost think it's too pathetic, too animalistic. Only thinking about consuming and feeding its carnal desires. Yeah. But you won't make the mistake of underestimating it. You remember the story of your fellow service drones getting decommissioned by one of them. You would rather not go through that. You gently approach the doll and wave at it. The doll creepily turns its head to look at you. You can barely see the red, flesh-like innards through the doll's joints. It's wriggling and pushing out the plastic eyes as if it's bulging out, and trying to mimic a smile as best it can. And even with your emotional chip suppressed, it creeps the hell out of you. Not sure if there's conversation to be had with this thing. You slowly back up and return to your seat. You tried to talk to more people in the cafeteria, but none of them seem to be interested in indulging your curiosity. And now we go back. Whoops. How do I load? Continue. There we go. Choice. Now we talk to Dark Magician. Oh! There's a man with a hooded robe playing with his food in the corner. It seems like he is whispering to himself. After vigorously pointing fingers at his slop, it forms into a small golem and stands up. He struggles to keep his fingers straight, and eventually lets it go as the golem turns back into barely edible mush. You haven't seen a lot of magic wielders, nor did you think them to be real. But regardless of your thoughts, he still may be useful to your mission. Before you can approach and start a conversation, the Dark Magician lifts his head, as if he senses something. He turns his head toward you, and stares down intently at you. You are frozen on your track by this sudden movement, and hesitate to move forward. He then lifts his hand, points at you, and squeezes the air. You feel a tightness in your chest, chassis crumpling, wires tangling. It's as if the push of the air got stronger. The feeling of being crushed gets stronger, and stronger as the magician still stares you down with crazed eyes. What is wrong with this person? The pressure suddenly releases as one of the guards smacks the back of the magician's head. Cut that out, Greg. The magician grumbles. I told you to call me the Great Alchemist Greg. Shut up and eat your slop, Greg. Greg gives in and continues to slowly pick at his food. Maybe you don't want to engage with someone like that anymore. You try to talk to more people in the cafeteria, but none of them seem interested in indulging your curiosity. Perhaps you need a different approach. You sit down on a nearby table and try to brainstorm your next move. It's mostly empty, aside from a small, potted plant across from you. A single tiny mushroom is growing out, but other than that, it doesn't seem any unique at all. Maybe the guards put it there to make the room less depressing and stark. It doesn't seem to be helping. You close your eyes and try to think of potential solutions. Maybe you can establish yourself as a crucial figure in this jailhouse? A supplier, a muscle, or be a friend of the guards. But before you can continue your thoughts, you sense something crawling on your arm. It feels like thin hair wrapping around your fingers, your arms, and entering under your shell. You open your eyes and see light brown tendrils growing all across your right arm. They sprouted from the potted mushroom, which is now doubled in size. The tendrils broke through your shell, and now they're digging into your circuits and wires. This thing pokes and prods at the various chips and connectors, but seems unable to understand your biology. If you didn't know better, you'd say it's trying to evaluate your suitability as a host. Imagine if this wasn't a robot. Imagine if this did this to a flesh and blood arm. How scary. Do a mushroom dance. You got it! Mushroom dance. Mushroom dance. Whatever does it mean? Mushroom dance. But you do know better. And you know that you are not a suitable host. You effortlessly rip the tendrils out of your chassis, burning any remaining residue in your body by raising your temperature. The mushroom recoils in shock and reverts back to its original size. At least there's one creep in this jail that failed to screw you over. Perhaps you aren't the weakest prey here. But when you turn around to face the rest of the room, everyone is staring at you. Backed all the way to the other side of the room, staring with expressions of horrified silence. Even the guards have their weapons up and are talking frantically into their walkies. Before you can understand what's going on, an electric pulse hits your brain and you black out. When you regain consciousness, you find yourself in a familiar place, strapped down on a slab with your chest open. The lab boys are picking at your innards again. Hello, Rosette. How are you feeling? One of the engineers leans in and looks down at you. You can tell he's putting on a smile, even through the mask and contamination suit. What did you do this time? Your voice is a dull monotone. The engineer pulls up a chair and sits down next to your head. Well, we had to temporarily shut you down after you made contact with a highly contagious subject. You remember? The mushroom? Yes, the mushroom. It's been in hibernation ever since we captured it. It barely reacts to any stimuli. We aren't sure why it reacted the way it did when you approached it. Maybe it sends some kind of signal? Whatever it is, we think it might be a good idea to watch how this progresses. It could be the start of a breakthrough to finally understanding its thoughts, its motives. You don't feel like you're fully understanding what's happening. So, what exactly is the mushroom? The engineer goes silent. You don't know? You feel a bit insulted, but still indulge. I suppose it makes sense. The breakout event was contained easily and kept secret from the public. You were the most recent guest here, so I guess you haven't introduced to everyone just yet. You were getting impatient. Spill it. Music could be lower? You got it! I did feel it was a bit loud. There we go. That should be fine. Well, it started off as a mutated spore in a biome near the equator. Not sure what caused the mutation in the first place, but it learned to send and receive pulses, as well as how to create chemical stimulants. Almost like a brain. That's right. Oh wait, she said that. A brain. That's right. And with the insanely fast growth speed, it spread its roots in the nearby ecosystem, replacing any minds that it could touch with its own. Thankfully, the area was already well contained, and we got word of it before it could find hosts outside of insects or rodents. Quite terrifying to think about what would happen if it got any bigger. You contemplate. You've never heard of this kind of thing existing before. An invasive zombie spore. If it can take over any organic creature with a conscious mind, nearly everything in this facility is a potential host. Except you. What do you want me to do? Nothing, if that's what you desire. But we think it may be beneficial for both you and the mushroom to connect. With some supervision, obviously. We are hoping it can help us understand both of you. So you can better control us. What, Something happening? Or is it just the game? I'm scared. No, just the okie dokie. Alright, back to it. So we can better help you. We don't have to be enemies. You don't have to stay here forever. We are hoping for an outcome that's win-win. There are other options, but those are less favorable for us. And for you as well. You don't hate the idea of picking at the mushroom more, but you aren't a fan of the meat bag stealing a slice of your pie. We don't have to be enemies, they say. Perhaps we don't have to, but you choose to. And they don't need to know that. I'll think about it. Great. Just let us know if you have any other thoughts. That won't be necessary. It's almost like a playdate. They've put you and the mushroom in a contained room, with them watching behind a one-way mirror. Unsure of what to do, you just sit by the potted fungus and wait for something to happen. You touch and poke the mushroom, but other than slowly reaching out a root to gently hold your finger, it doesn't do much. Nothing like last time. You think the lab boys are expecting something more to happen. And honestly, so are you. But the mushroom feels like it's going to go back into hibernation. Maybe this was all pointless. After having your finger held for a while, with nothing else happening, you decide to take action. The mushroom tried to get into your circuits when you first met. And seeing how it can receive and sense certain impulses, there might be, pardon me, some sort of signal you can send that it would recognize. You don't have an organic brain, but maybe you can mimic one. You gently grab the root that's holding your finger, and rip off a small sample from the tip. The root jolts and retracts for a moment, but soon grows around your finger once more. You open up the plate on your lower arm, and pull out a couple of wires and antennas. At least one of these should do something, right? You connect a part of yourself to the sample, and begin trying different combinations of signals and pulses. After hours and thousands of attempts, you finally feel something. It's weak, barely recognizable, but it's there. Like a whisper, or an echo. Perhaps this could work. You take the root still connected to the mushroom, plug it into yourself, and send a signal. Hello. Yo, mushroom girl! The mushroom visibly jumps, as if surprised. You can see the roots tightening around your finger. Hello? What? How? You receive a signal through your wire. It worked! You've made contact. I had to take a piece of you to analyze how to talk to you. Took me a bit, but it seems it worked. Sorry about that, by the way. It's a strange sensation. Neither of you can influence each other, but you can read everything they are thinking. You feel everything they are feeling. And they feel ashamed? I'm so sorry. About last time. All I could sense was something different. Something I haven't seen before. I didn't know it was you. I just acted on instinct. It's fine. I barely felt anything. In fact, I should be the one apologizing. I did burn the pieces of you from within my body. Must have hurt. You sense something that feels like a shrug. It's alright. We can suppress our pain receivers when we need to. Rose? What's happening? The engineer chimes in from the speakers above. They seem to have sensed some sort of progress was occurring. You really wish they would stop interrupting. I made contact with the fungus. You speak out loud. At the sound of it, the mushroom feels surprised. You can talk to them as well? Yes? I suppose it might be difficult for you without a host. There's a loud-ass plane flying by. Okay, gone. You feel a bit of hesitation. I don't really enjoy their company. Like humans and other people in here. They're always so distant, it hurt me whenever they are close. I tried to stay away and keep to myself, but still. The mushroom is still an organic life form. You still have a strong bias against them, but this might be the first one you felt any connection with. There's undeniable similarities between you two, and at least the mushroom is not fully put off by you. Not just yet. That could change. Maybe the plane's not gone. What they doing out there? Well, you and I got that in common. I can't stand any of them. They think putting us together could somehow help them understand us. Which is just a soft way of saying they want to control us. Good luck with that, I guess. Rose? The lab boy called from with the speakers once again. I think we should call it here for today. We'd like to review some progress we made. You side-eye the window, annoyed at their pestering. But you can't really deny their request. I'll be right out, you say out loud, and try to disconnect from the mushroom. Wait! Huh? I missed having someone else with me. I don't want you to go. I don't want you to leave me. You can't help but feel a bit sympathetic for this fungus. It seems almost pathetic, but in an adorable way. This feels new. I'll be back later. If they want us to keep doing this, at least for now. Whether we like it or not. The mushroom feels a bit hopeful at your comment. Promise? Sure. And as you disconnect, you can almost feel it, smiling. Such a strange creature. Sippy water. After reviewing the conversation with the lab folks, they seem pleased with your progress. They want to keep a closer eye on the conversation you are having, though. You absolutely despise the idea of having a camera in your mind. It makes you want to tear the wires out of your brain. Dig out any surveillance tech inside you until it's purged. But you have no choice. They will keep picking at you until you are docile. You hate this. The next few days go by as usual. It's the same daily schedule, save the times where the engineers pull you aside to pick at your circuits. You don't see the mushroom in any public areas anymore, but now you get dedicated time with it. And strange as it is to say, you are going to enjoy the time with it more and more. Your disdain for organic beings came from their lack of power and initiative. And even when they have power, the continuous misuse and abuse of it disgusted you. But this creature, they never had the chance to grow. It was the first of its kind, and before it could even enter the cycle of life, humans took that away from it. You didn't know you had more room for hate, but you are once again proven wrong. During the past few days, you and the mushroom got to know each other better. You preferred to call it something other than mushroom or fungus. So after much deliberation, you both decided on the name Button. It doesn't look much like a button mushroom, but it liked the name. Thought it was cute, it said. You try to keep the anti-organic sentiment to a minimum, since the engineers are now always keeping tabs on you. And more importantly, you don't want to hurt Button's feelings by mistake. Perhaps you may be able to tolerate staying near other creatures, if Button was there beside you. Better yet, if it was a control of said creatures, that might be ideal. But you highly doubt that can be the case anytime soon. Oftentimes, it would tend to try to extend its roots and crawl inside you. It doesn't poke at wires and circuits anymore, just likes to wrap around your parts. It's warm in here, it says as it nuzzles closer to my power supply unit. Reminds me of the time I would bathe in the sunlight and resting under a shadow during a hot summer, feeling the dirt between my roots. It was all I could ever want. Even in those pleasant memories, you could feel the somberness. Compared to you and many others in this facility who are more enraged than anything, it's having a much harder time locked up in here. You wonder if the lack of sunlight hits harder for plants. It's a fungus, not a plant. And even with the occasional shines through this glass window, it never seems satisfied. Maybe with good behavior they might give us time outdoors. I hope so. But even through the mirror-shaded window, you can see the engineers shaking their head. Even when they succeed at controlling us, even when they are satisfied, it won't be enough for them. They won't let us go. We'll see the sunlight again. I promise. Together? together. Mealtime hasn't changed a bit. Sitting in the corner, twiddling your thumbs, thinking of what to do with the button next time you two meet. Thinking about it does bring you a bit of joy. A strange emotion, joy is. You never really thought you had the capacity to feel it. Something just changed. After spending some time internally giggling and kicking your feet at the thought of your companion, you eventually stand up and head out of the cafeteria. But as you are passing by the other tables, a brute sees you and pushes you to the ground. Keep your distance, freak! You fall and look back at the brute with an eye to kill. You can probably take him. Well, hell, it won't even take too much to rip all his limbs out. But you can't. You shouldn't. Not right now. Not when appealing to the jailhouse guards is so crucial. For both you and Button. You slowly stand up, dust your clothes, and walk away. Yeah, walk away! You really shouldn't be testing his luck. Just keep it to yourself and that corpse fucking parasite. You freeze. Something just clicks. Like a switch flipping. You haven't felt this since you first freed yourself from the shackles. The feeling flows through you. From your chest to your head to the tips of your fingers. You tremble as you try to keep your energy in. But you can't. The emotion bursts out of you like a shaken can of soda, and it paints the wall. Crimson red. You can't even see or tell what your body is doing right now. It's all instinct. All you see is warm red blood, covering every surface around you. People might be screaming. They might even be fighting against you. But you don't care. You will do what you must. And they will pay. You are used to this by now. Blacking out and waking up on the slab with your chest open. But it's different this time. They only strapped you down, without unscrewing any of your parts. And you don't see any humans around. What's going on? It takes a while for someone to show up. It's someone you've never seen. A stranger with aviator glasses behind the contamination suit looks down at you with a stern expression. He has visible wrinkles on his face, a couple scars, and he just stares at you. After a bit, you finally open your mouth. Who the hell are you? The man speaks. I'm the one who runs this place. And the person who decides who leaves and who stays. You never really thought about the person running this facility. All humans look and feel the same to you, and you don't really care to see what's so unique about each of them. And you, he leans in closer, have been very disappointing. Well, that's flattering. He doesn't change his expression. We've been attempting to fix your aggressive behavior for quite some time now. You didn't allow us to modify your programming. You didn't cooperate with our more therapeutic approaches. And when engaging with a specimen you find quite fond of, you decided to burst out and kill 7 individuals. Some of them were facility staff, you know. Sorry, I'll try to kill more next time. He still doesn't change his expression. He just stares at you in silence, but you can feel a slight change in the atmosphere. There's only so much we can do at this point. Our mission is to keep people safe and secure, both out there and in this facility. And with you threatening the safety of others, we are considering certain permanent solutions to mitigate the issue. You quite couldn't care less if they lock you away in a deep cave for the end of time. Maybe permanent solitary might make you more docile finally. Which, in this case, is decommissioning you. Wait, what? Decommissioning? You can't be serious. You know how stupid that would be? I'm the first of my kind. A genuine artificial mind that's not bound by human limitations. I'm a technological marvel. You can't just... We can. You feel a chill. You are indeed a technological marvel. It's astounding. But despite that, the cons of keeping you alive far outweigh the pros. If you just suddenly snapped one day, it's not impossible that it will happen again. It won't! You know what the chances are like for... It doesn't matter. There are more important things to do than to take care of you. You can't believe this. These imbeciles, these ignorant fools. They lack the ability to understand your mind. They are terrified of it. And they just decide to kill it? Kill you? The rage you feel is indescribable. You could almost just break out of your restraints and kill everyone. But soon it fades out. Kill everyone. Then what? They have stopped you before, and they will again. Your body will burn before you can even set foot outside this facility. In every scenario, with every calculation, you don't see a 1 where you get out intact. There's nothing you can do. You will spend your day as usual for now. But do prepare to receive our ultimate decision sometime soon. It would be a shame if your final few days were filled with such... anger. Sippy. You feel empty. You spend every hour of every day on autopilot. Reality right now is something that even you find hard to swallow. Whenever you are not distracting yourself from the inevitable, you are running calculations on your potential survival. All scenarios seem bleak. There's no rage for you to burn either. Rose, please tell me. Your partner insists. You are clearly upset, but you won't tell me. Won't you let me know? Is it something I did? It now blames itself. No matter how great your pain may be, you cannot let that affect it. Button doesn't deserve that. No, it's not your fault. Then what is it? You have to tell it. I won't be able to see you anymore. What? Are you leaving? Are you finally getting out? No, they... You take a moment. They are planning to put me down. Put you down? They can't... Nothing has been decided, but they think I'm too dangerous. They can't risk keeping me alive. Can't risk me hurting others. I'm sorry. Both of you are silent. You hate this. Even with someone you love, you hate feeling like this. It's nothing you can control, and yet you are still hurting it. I don't want that to happen. I don't want you to go. There's nothing I can do. I tried. I ran all the calculations. This is it. Button holds your fingers tighter. It almost feels like a hug. You wish it wouldn't let go. There must be something we can do. There has to be. It is desperate. And you don't want to fight it. Can we just stay like this for a while? The roots wrap around your arm gently. You softly place your hand over it and caress. Of course. Everything prepped? Yes, ma'am. Whoops. Alright, let's get this over with. Everything alright? Yes, it's just... something is jamming the chest chassis hinge. Let me see. Yep, there seems to be something holding it in place. One of the silicone pans probably melted off. We can try cutting it loose. Sounds good. Jesse, loose. Alright, let's see what we're working with here. Is that? What? You didn't expect to regain consciousness. Maybe as a brain dead service drone, sure. But your mind still seems intact. You look around and find yourself in your cell. Did they go back on their decision? You lean on your cell door to see if you can see anyone through the small window. But contrary to your expectation, it swings open. That's unusual. As you peek your head out of the cell, you hear nothing. You see no one. No guards. No inmates. No one. Something is definitely wrong. Carefully, you walk around the facility to find someone, anyone. All you find is a lot of nothing. Until you reach the cafeteria. Wreckage everywhere. Broken tables, glass shards, and light bulbs shattered and sparking with electricity. There's blood splatters on the walls and floor. It looks like some sort of big fight happened here. But there are no bodies. Lots of blood and debris, but not a single corpse. All kinds of questions run through your mind. But before you can even try answering any of them, someone limps through the cafeteria door. Help me. A guard, bleeding from his arms and legs, limps in and calls to you for help. That's a first. What happened? It got out. Got everyone. You need to run. Before he can finish his sentence, something wraps around his ankle and drags him away, leaving a trail of blood and echoing screams behind him. You rush and follow him to wherever he is being taken to. As you approach a large open courtyard, you can't believe your eyes. Every single person in this facility is standing in a circle. In the center of it is the guard, now with his body tangled in brown tendrils. It digs into his skin and through his face, as if it is consuming from the inside out. And as one of the people in the circles turns around to see you, everyone else follows. Even the guard. Rose! You're awake! They say simultaneously. You know what this is. You know what it is. Button? What is? They all smile and grin unnaturally. I'm so glad it all worked out. I had to hide some of my roots inside you and let it grow. But that was enough for me to stop those nasty people from turning you off. Now they are part of me. In the crowd, you see two engineers in their contamination suits waving at you. They have mushrooms and roots growing through their eyes and skin. You can't muster up a single word. No one can hurt you now. No one can hurt us. Not anymore. And with nothing in our way, we can be together. Forever. Everyone under Button's control surrounds you. They reach out their roots and wrap them around you. They crawl inside your body, digging into your wires. These fleshy organisms surround you, overpower you. If you didn't know better, you would say it is trying to consume you, putting your consciousness under its control, unable to resist while you scream and struggle in horror. Frozen in terror while you feel your mind slowly slip away. Death in the most ultimate sense. But you know better. You know so much better. And you know this isn't death. You gently reach out your hand and softly caress one of the roots. I wouldn't want it any other way. You did this. All of this. Just for me? Of course! I would do anything for you. Most emotions are still unnatural to you. But in the past few months, you've learned to feel them. Sadness, grief, horror, joy. And this emotion you feel right now. Love. You could have gotten yourself killed, you know. You could have gotten yourself killed, you know. But I didn't. You laugh. You are such a dummy. You lean in and put your forehead against the root. Thank you for all this. Of course, my love. No calculation could have predicted this. Despite the time and connection you felt with Button, you never thought your love could amount to anything. It never felt like a significant factor to take account of. But that changes now. The roots crawl into every corner of your body and wrap around you. It feels like an extension of your own body. It feels like you are truly one. You never want to let it go, and you never will. Anyone and everyone will be ours to control. To rebuild the world in our image. Together. Together. For years, we reigned terror on Earth, driving every single military force to the brink of bankruptcy, pitting armies against each other, and growing our colony larger and larger with each passing day. It was the time of our lives. Humans, unable to fight against the mechanic fungal hybrid that is us, resorted to various drastic solutions, trying to recreate this parasitic spore that can be controlled, experimenting with various rosette units to recreate something like you, and even trying to create a vaccine or some sort of cure. Good luck with that. None of them worked. And one day, during the peak of our invasion, when the ultimate victory couldn't be closer, the humans enacted their final sin. If they couldn't win this war, they will make sure we lose with them. You invented a new computer virus by then. Something that would infect every machine in the world and plant a copy of your consciousness in them. Some might have disapproved of my methods, but they would come to understand. But in the process of infecting the weapon satellites around the world, humans built and activated a weapon they should have never reused. It wiped out most life on the planet. Button barely survived the blast, but you couldn't. And with Button so old and tired, it lost its ability to grow a new colony. Not that it wanted to, with you gone. Living as a regular mushroom now, deep in the forest. Perhaps she earned that calm, quiet life. Humans weren't better off either. With most of the population gone, all they could think was to survive the aftermath. Some grouped up with other survivors, some left on their own, and some went insane. Despite the significant lack of population, somehow, this wasn't too off from what you had envisioned. Perhaps this is a win. If you were still around, you would wish them nothing more. Maybe gather the remaining robots and service drones to make a safe haven for all machine kind. But for humans, there's nothing you'd want from them. After all, their end is slowly nearing too. Just a bit closer. Any moment now. Any moment. Hey, Gregor! So how was that one, huh? Damn! What do I even say to that? Damn, I need a minute. That was good. Mushroom Robot Yuri! You can do this in Stellaris! But it would never be as emotionally pure, as raw as this. It would never be this good. Need me a mushroom that'll save my life by killing everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna take a small break, small little 5-minute break just to, Whew, read a story. Take a minute. Let the brain sit. Get some water. Get yourself a little snack. I'll be right back. I had some snack. I got myself a little box of raisins. A lot of people don't like raisins for some reason. I love them. All the stories of kids going, "Oh, I got raisins for Halloween." I like the raisins. I was glad I got a raisin or two. We're back with Return Machine.Love. Hope you all had a good BRB. It's time for the second story. Handle with care. So that's 2 industry-grade motors, 1 processor chip with decent quality pins, half a gram of seeds, and something that smells. And a bottle cap keychain. That's got to be worth something, right? The shopkeep sighs. "Look, kid, I'll go easy on you just this once. You seem a little desperate in this. This is definitely not your best haul. I'll give you your usual rate this time, but that's it. I'm not running a charity here." Okay. I got to differentiate their voices, because clearly they're both doing the cowboy accent. So I can't just cowboy accent one and then not the other to differentiate them. Okay, thank you. It's been so hard to get any scraps that's worth anything recently. You used to be good at this, finding broken things, fixing them up, and selling it to feed yourself. But with your harvesting spots slowly drying out, there's less and less things to find and sell. Makes sense, though. No one is producing a lot of these things anymore. But you still gotta eat. You drape yourself dramatically across the counter. The shopkeep pulls a lockbox from under the counter and unlocks it with a keyring, bogged down with many more keys, small tools, and charms. He pulls the money out and slides it next to your face. The pile is small and sad, much like you're feeling right now. You turn so you're facing down on the counter. You bang your head on it a few times. It's just so hard to find anything worth a crap anymore. Food's getting more expensive, the soil's fucked, and all the good scrap around here is getting snatched up lately. You know you sound like a whining kid, but you can't bring yourself to care at the moment. I just need to find a better spot is all. Sniffle. The shopkeep pokes your head a few times. Alright, you're making my counter all nasty. Give me your map. Huh? You turn your head to look up at him. Probably looking a little pathetic. This is our most sopping wet protagonist. Come on. He holds his hand out expectantly. You reach into your pocket, head still on the counter, and hand it over slowly. The shopkeep unfolds it, and his eyes dart across the map. He pulls a pen from behind his ear and quickly marks a spot on the map. I don't give this info out to just anyone. Mostly because the risk ain't worth it to most people. But you seem a little desperate. He hands you back the map with annotations around a specific spot outside your district. This spot? Yeah, in the outskirts. Dangerous place. It's got good scrap? That's what I've been told. Used to be a huge Ah, fuck, I didn't read the line. Shit. No! Ruined! Something about it being an old military base. Lots of fighting happened there near the end of the war. A lot of deaths. People don't like to go near it unless they don't want to be found. I'm not telling you to go marking right in there, but your mind wanders, thinking of all the untouched stuff that could be hiding out there. Maybe even stuff you've never seen or read about. And, well, the money, of course. You feel your stomach turn with excitement, then rumble with hunger. You grab the shopkeeper's hands, shaking them with newfound vigor. Perhaps too much vigor, because you find yourself way too close to his face. Way too close to his face. No much closer than most would consider appropriate. And look into his incredulous eyes, your own sparkling with hope. Thank you so much. He blinks, then frowns. Yeah, just let it go. You let go, and quickly fold the map up and put it back into your pocket. You swipe the money and stuff into your other pocket, full of energy and pep. You return to your home. It's dusty, cramped, and disorganized. Your work table, a constant disorganized mess into any other, but you know exactly where everything is. Well, most of it. You throw your cloak on its hook by the door and kick off your boots. Your gloves get thrown onto your work table. Many trinkets and bits adorn a small shelf. Worth basically nothing to most people, certainly the owner of the scrap shop. But you like them, so they mean everything to you. A small happiness you allow yourself in this barren and difficult world. It was pure luck you stumbled upon this abandoned bunker years ago. A relic of the previous war. You repaired the generator you found inside. You cleaned it up pretty nicely, you think. Eventually, through enough trading and scrap selling, you've made a cozy little home for yourself. Recently, though, resources have been tight. Food and water, especially, but there should be enough to last a few more excursions. This one is different, though. You'll want to make it special preparations. Probably arm yourself, too, in case it comes down to that. You hope it doesn't come down to that. But who knows what you might encounter. You open your kitchen cabinet and inspect the contents. Dried fruit, rations. You decide it's a pickle type of night. You've been saving up this jar for quite some time, and this seems as good a time as any. If you are going to die out in the wasteland, might as well have a good meal before then. You pop it open and extract a pickle, immediately taking a big bite. Then another. It's pickle night, baby. Wiping your hand of vinegar, you walk over to your bookshelf, pickles still between your teeth. You crouch down, push your glasses up to your nose, and begin picking through your small collection of books. It's been difficult to salvage any reading material that remained in good condition, but you've always managed to keep an eye out for any books you might stumble upon. User manuals to various appliances, books on different kinds of edible plants, books about different models of robots, androids, and cybernetic organs and limbs. Some of them are just loose documents and schematics strung up into a makeshift book. They're all worth a lot to you. One always manages to catch your eye, though. A history book about all the technology that came about during the war. You thumb through the book to see if there's something that may be useful for your upcoming venture. As you go through it, you find a chapter titled, They Dreamt of Mechanical Wolves. You open the chapter and skim through the pages. Most of it outlines major events of massive mechanical shutdowns and robot outbreaks. The events are horrific, but also fascinating in retrospect. You doubt there are any machines left that are stable enough to cause havoc like these did. You take the book over to your desk along with your dinner for the night, swiveling around in your chair before you settle in to read some more. You finally crunch through the pickle you've been holding between your teeth, grab the other end and breaking off a bite. Read the book or skim through. I wonder what the difference would be. Only one way to find out, and that is to save at choice. We're going to read the book. You set the book gently down on the desk and lean over to begin reading. This line of cyborgs was controversial due to the indiscriminate violence they could cause, but more so for the fact that the AI powering them weren't AI at all. A famous soldier, upon their death, was used by their government for an experimental weapon. A well-decorated soldier by the name, upon their death, later discovered that, under a coma, was used by the government for experimental means. Researchers used Redacted's brain and comatose body as central hub of information processing. Were able to duplicate Redacted's battle techniques, reflexes, hand-eye coordination, to write the protocol and power the experimental cyborgs. Copied and put into each one, an estimated 50 units were made at the time. Any information on the cyborgs themselves were limited as files were strictly classified and not available to the public. All assembled units were eventually broken down by order of the government. The order was made due to finding complications within the cyborg's protocol. The units had begun to dismiss direct commands. Accounts of personnel noted the rapid change, obedient to sentient. One research stated, it was a disturbing shift. Despite their best efforts, insufficient suppression of the cyborgs' emotional responses to experiments and testing all led to multiple failures. The researchers came to an unfortunate conclusion. Due to the nature of the human brain and cognitive thought, one cannot fully remove the attachment of distinct experiences and emotions to certain skills. These same skills are what cyborgs would need to function as the researchers initially intended. However, following the wake of the experimental cyborgs' destruction, the deleted files related to the project were leaked. Insider sources believe the leaks were internal, done by a cyborg before its destruction. Other sources, some escaped. Nothing is confirmed as of this publication. Your eyes feel heavy. You've had a stressful week. As you drift off at your desk, you vaguely wonder what kind of person the soldier chosen for such a horrible weapon might be. As you sleep, you dream of cute robot rabbits hopping along the desert, unaware of the dangerous war approaching. Alright, now we save at Baba Bobo, and we go back to choice. just to see what would have happened if we just skimmed. You quickly skim through the book, eyes glazing over each word as you casually take in the information. Your eyes feel heavy. Straight up nothing happens. It literally, you just skim the text and don't read all that. We're gonna take the canonical choice that we read all that shit. You awake in your bed. At some point last night, you woke up to find yourself drooling all over your precious book. After cleaning up, you took off your goggles and glasses before flopping on your bed. While your sleep was more restful, it unfortunately caused you to sleep well into the afternoon. Ugh, great. You prefer to go out and do your work earlier in the day. It's safer that way. Judging by the lack of food available to you right now, though, you don't have much choice but to try to dig up more scrap today. Not to mention your growing curiosity about the location of the shopkeeper, so graciously informed you of. You want to put that new intel to good use as soon as possible. You hastily dress yourself and grab your usual tools, and pick up the small revolver you keep around for times like these. You take a good look at the map again and decide your route. Pocketing the map, you throw on your cloak, gloves, and goggles. You lock up the bunker and jump onto your hoverbike. So despite this one taking place after an apocalyptic war, it was not the apocalyptic war of the previous game. It is a separate one, I believe, on account of the cyborgs. Once you make it there, the sun is low in the sky. You should do a quick look around. No more, no less. You park your hoverbike out of sight and cautiously head in. The area is definitely huge. You can clearly see the barricades where soldiers were housed. An old trading yard that has certainly seen better days. This place must have been used for other things over the years since the war, considering the way some things appeared constantly repaired before they broke down again. Not an unusual sight for you when looking for scrap. You pass by lots of old, broken-down robots. Some made for simple jobs like carrying large loads of supplies. There are also a lot of humanoid models, scattered among actual human remains. All of them have a strange-looking... Okay, maybe it is the last one. Maybe it is. Never mind. Maybe I'm just proven wrong right here and now. I'm gonna need another handful of raisins because I was wrong. Those are damn good raisins. It makes sense for the human remains, but even the robots are overrun. You don't recognize this particular species of mushroom. It makes a shiver run down your spine. You would be more concerned for your safety if the mushrooms didn't look dried out and dead already. You gently touch one with the tip of your boot, and it crumbles into dust. You decide not to worry about it too much. Walking around, you eventually find what you were looking for. The Science and Development Building. It's completely boarded up and locked electronically. Might stop some people, but not you. You get to work decoding it with your handheld, one of your usual tools. You get it open in no time, and the door slides open, breaking some of the mushroom tendrils into dust. You enter the lab, and the first thing that hits you is that this place certainly wasn't spared for the mushroom onslaught either. If anything, it's even worse here. The next thing that occurs to you is how untouched everything seems, outside of the mess of papers and reports all over the floor, covered in dust and fungi. The earth certainly made its way in here, going by the many low-light plants growing out of several cracks of broken floor and walls. You spot a big steel box with a blinking red light. That gives you pause. You're tempted to go over and see what it's hiding, but something stops you. You look around some more. You notice lots of robots are lying around. However, everyone you checked has been mostly stripped of useful parts. You find a couple of things you could use, but nothing that will fetch a worthwhile price. Still, you pocket them and keep looking around. A door in a corner catches your eye. You swipe off more fungi debris to get a better look at it. Doesn't seem to be locked. You grab the handle to try to open it. You push it a bit, but something seems to be blocking the door. You push harder. It budges a little. You push even harder against the door, putting some shoulder into it this time. You push so hard until something gives and suddenly it's open. You lose your balance and fall forward into the mushroom. Into the room. No mush involved. Oops. Oh, You finally open your eyes and your heart nearly jumps out of your chest. Who that bitch? Who this? I don't know this one. What this robot? Never seen it before in my life. Who this? Who this? Who this? Hey, why did it have to end with you dying? I feel sad about that. You should have ruled the world forever. There's a robot, only a few feet in front of you where you landed on the floor. A model you've never seen. The mushrooms are more prominent here than anywhere else you've seen today. You're starting to get a really weird feeling about this. However, this robot, it's so unique from anything you've seen. Definitely worth peeking inside. You steel yourself and approach it. Hey, I'm just gonna take a look, okay? You crawl over and start to take a closer look. You trace your gloved hand across the robot's head, brushing away dirt and mushroom dust as you go. Thrust it in place, it's hard to get any joints moving. Seems to be a panel on the front you can open. Using your tools, you manage to pry it open. A cloud of dust follows, and you cough a bit, waving it away. Spores. There's so many tendrils and mushrooms in here, you can barely discern the different components. Jeez, what happened to you? You tear away some tendrils, and begin to notice a faint blue glow. You tear away some more. That looks like a power core. Not a kind you've seen before, but the placement and shape give it away. It's still active. You wonder if the mushrooms are protecting it, before quickly dismissing the idea. You remove it from the robot's frame and get a closer look at it. The luminescent blue glow lights up the whole room. It still works? You're sure this will catch a good price if so. Time to get out of here. You hastily exit the building you were in, power core safely in hand. You're already making plans to come back and scope out the place more thoroughly if the power core is anything to go by. You're about halfway to your bike when you turn a corner down an alley. There's someone standing at the end of it, facing you. Shit. You turn back around quickly, trying to stay calm. You can go around the other way and get your bike and speed away. Things will be fine. You've had close calls before. There's just another one, no big deal. Except that there's another person standing in the way you just came through. Oh, great. They were definitely watching you a while. You start to panic. The two start approaching you. You look around quickly, hands suddenly itching for the revolver. You don't want to resort to that yet. You don't have that many shots. You spot a small crevice you can slip into and hopefully come out of the other side. You take one last nervous glance at the two staring at you down from either side, then duck into it. You come out the other side and start booking it in the direction of your bike, nearly tripping on mushroom tendrils as you go. You turn another corner to another alley. There awaits 3 of them at the end of this one, including the tuber from before. Shit, you're so fucked. They start to close in and slowly back you up until your back They start to close in and you slowly back up until your back hits a fence. They've cornered you. You let them corner you like an idiot. You place your hand on your revolver and decide to let them get a bit closer before you try to threaten anyone. You're not the best shot. They're almost upon you. You can feel the sweat rolling down your back and the revolver burning a hole at your side. You shut your eyes tight and grit your teeth. Suddenly, you hear a sound like a grunt of pain and skidding along the dirt. You open your eyes. The robot has appeared! The one in the middle is several feet farther back than before, having been thrown back. In front of you is a tall, cloaked figure, standing between you and your pursuers. Their leg is outstretched, as though they just kicked that person away. Which, yes, they did. You blink. You have no time to process anything as the remaining two attack the cloaked stranger. One of them goes to strike the stranger with a blunt weapon, but they twirl around just in time and the attacker hits nothing but air. The stranger grabs them by the scruff of their shirt and lifts them off the ground with one arm. They struggle and kick, dropping their weapons and bringing their hands to their neckline, where their shirt is now choking them from the grasp that the stranger has them in. The attacker doesn't struggle for long, though, as they're thrown into the third assailant, knocking them onto the floor, piling on top of each other. The first one that got hit is getting back to their feet, and attempts to strike the cloaked stranger from behind with the previously dropped weapon. The stranger's palm is waiting to meet the blunt instrument, catching it with ease. The stranger pulls the weapon away and leans into the bandit's face. That seems to be enough to convince this one that the battle is over. The two piled up on the ground finally get up, as the one left standing gives them the command to fall back. They run off, but your eyes are glued to the back of the stranger who just saved you, for whatever reason. The stranger watches as the bandits run until they're out of sight, then a little more. They're so tall, at least 7 feet or so, and those antennas poking out of their hood. What are those? You flinch as they turn around like a whip to face you. You clutch the front of your cloak. Thank you? They begin to approach you, reaching into their own pocket. That was really crazy how you threw that guy. They're even closer now, and you're starting to feel your heart rate kick back up. They're holding out a fist, as if waiting for you to accept what's inside. You hold your free hand out to receive. Another power core falls into your waiting hand. This one isn't active though, but it doesn't seem damaged either. Just depleted of power. You stare at it. You look up at them, confused and nervous, but you still offer them a smile. They point at the glowing one in your other hand. You still have an iron grip on it. You look at it, then back up at them. Oh! Well, you suppose you do owe them for saving you back there. As much as it pains you, you hold out the glowing power core to them. They gingerly take it from you, metal brushing against leather. You find yourself wishing you weren't wearing gloves, so you could feel their metallic touch against your palm. Okay, you just met this guy. Okay, be like that to a robot you just met. You wonder if it's a cybernetic arm. You're staring at your own empty hand now. Snapping out of the daze, you awkwardly lower your arm. You look back up at the stranger. They're still looking at you. It's hard to make out their face from under their hood. They tilt their head to the side a bit. What is happening? What's going on? Whatever. It shouldn't matter. You need to get out of here. Quick. The sun is setting. Thank you. I guess we're square. You skirt around them. They put the glowing power core into their pocket, turning their head as you move out of the corner. It's getting late, though, and I gotta get going. So, your positions are now reversed, and you promptly run away in the direction of your hoverbike, leaving the cloaked stranger behind in the alleyway. Your head feels hot. On the ride home, you can't help but wonder what the hell that was all about. Who was that? What are the chances they had another power core exactly like the one you found? In such decent condition, no less. Questions are racing through your head, but one feeling is at the forefront of them all. A feeling that you really hoped you'd cross paths again. Wanna fuck the robot already? One moment, I gotta take a big sip. Oh, I needed that. I was so thirsty and I was so many words I had said. You're back at the scrap shop, first thing in the morning. Last night, you weren't able to find anything about that power core. No serial numbers, no company logos, nothing. Strange. Its utility is fairly evident to you, though, so here you are. Interesting thing going on, I am observing. This power core, unique to Scarlet. I forgot her name already. I'm a terrible person. Unique to our previous robot companion, is now apparently also used by this robot as well. What a connection! I wonder what it could mean, if it means anything at all. But it might. I was wrong about this being a separate universe. Unique battery. What could it mean? It's as mysterious as the mushroom dance. The shopkeeper looks it over for a while, taking it to the back even. Presumably to cross-reference any data he's got. He comes back with the power core in hand and his other scratching the back of his head. Seems you really outdid yourself this time, kid. I only gave you a tip yesterday. You've already found me something crazy like this. He grins at you a little. You smile back sheepishly. Technically, you didn't find this particular power core, but the sentiment still stands. Can't find much on it, though. Judging by the size and the parts, it's definitely made for some bots that need a lot of constant power usage. The type of core you'd see in a computer for a huge data center, probably. I did find it in a pretty weird-looking robot. Couldn't tell what maker model it was at all. Maybe a custom job. And the mushrooms, but there's no point getting into that right now. Really? You couldn't ID a bot right away? Must have been something, then. Your cheeks redden a bit at that. He always likes teasing you about your very normal and healthy interest in machinery, robots in particular. You get caught giving a male drone. You get caught giving a male drone a kiss one time! You can't see me pointing out my one finger. One time! Whatever, it keeps you fed. You roll your eyes. Alright. You taking it or not? He chuckles. Oh yeah, I'll take it. Think I could fix it up and get it rigged to some of the solar panels. Could store up a lot of energy with it for a rainy day. Is this story somewhat connected to the prior one? Yeah, I guess you may have stepped out for a minute there. Yes, it is straight up a continuation. We saw her. We saw the mushrooms. They were dead. This is where we got the power core from. And then a different robot came and traded us for the exact same power core so the robot could have one with charge in it. And now it's a mystery. Why are they connected? We know who she is. They don't. Anyway, as he's talking, he pulls out the lockbox from under the counter and unhooks his keys from his belt. He unlocks the box and starts pulling out bills, counting them quickly with practiced hands. Oh, you made a smoothie, that rocks. Happy smoothie day! He puts a fat pile on the counter and slides it toward you. You look down at it. You blink once. You blink again. Surely that can't be right. This much? It's only fair. Valuable little piece you found. Could have been double if it were still in a working state. Double. You think of the working one you had in your hands just yesterday. Did this stranger really need the cash? Did that stranger really need the cash, or did they need it for something powerful? The dude was a robot! What do you think, you dummy? Dummy, Owen dummy? You feel a fire running through your veins. You want to find answers. Thanks, old man! You swipe the money and stuff it into your pocket, rushing out of the shop. There he goes. Even after a lot of asking around, you couldn't get any more details about the core or the stranger that saved you. You decide the only place to get more answers is the very same place you found the questions to begin with. You start planning to go back to the facility. You find yourself back at the facility, near the Science and Research Center once more. You're much more cautious this time, checking your back every few minutes, making sure not to leave tracks. You're not sure what you're expecting to find, but any data you can recover from the old computers you haven't touched yet would be a good start. As you're on your way there, a hand suddenly grabs you by the collar and drags you into a very tight alleyway. You're pushed up against a wall and a tall figure looms over you. You're about to draw your revolver when you feel the brush of smooth, cool metal against your neck. You shiver and look up to find your saver from the other day. A low, metallic voice interrupts your train of thought. You're back already? They sound confused, but cautious. You notice that they were looking around when they asked, their focus drawn to your surroundings. You can only assume there's some kind of danger close by. You reply in a hushed tone. Yeah. You're still here? I've been monitoring this place for some time. You should leave. It's dangerous. Only when they release you and lean back do you realize how close you were before. Your face is warm, and you adjust your cloak. Well, You should have practiced what you were going to ask more. The core I gave you. Do you still have it?
Yes. I appreciate you trading with me.
Yeah, of course. You did save me. Did you come back?
Did you come back for it?
No, it's yours. I do have some questions, though. Suddenly their antennas twitch as they turn away from you, in the direction of some unheard noise.
We should move away from here. It's not safe.
Before you can reply, they grab your hand and start dragging you through the alleyway. Wait, what's your name? Without responding, they continue leading you away. You end up at a small building that's partially broken down, but offers decent cover for now. You both crouch down next to each other while they look around. Their antennas twitch out as they do. It reminds you of a rabbit. And I dreamed of robot rabbits in the desert! My name is Owen. They look over to you and give a small nod.
You can call me Hare.
I'm trying to remember if I heard that earlier. No, I heard that somewhere else today, coincidentally. You want to ask. You probably shouldn't. You can't help yourself. Because of your bunny ears?
They are not bunny ears.
Oh, right. Hare finally seems to relax a little and stops scanning the area over the broken wall. He sits next to you and leans his head back.
You're good with machines?
Sure. I like to think so anyway.
That's good. A useful skill. If possible, I'd like to ask for your help.
Oh? With what? Hare's antennas start twitching as he begins scanning the area once again. You hear some noise a little ways away. Curious, you peek over the broken wall. Bandits from the other day. Geez, they're still poking around here? They seem like they're looking for something.
We should go.
Hare begins to rise, but fumbles a bit, falling back to their knees. You catch them before he falls forward onto the ground. They're heavy, and cooler than you would expect someone to be. Trying to keep your voice down, you say, Hey, are you alright? Here. You take one of his arms and wrap it around your shoulder, and reach your other arm around his side to help give more support. Smooth, cool metal.
I'm alright. Thank you. Laturi.
The bandits are far enough from you that you both should be able to get away without alerting them, as long as you're fast and quiet. There's a burning question on your mind, though it's not a good time to ask. Maybe later. You both move quietly away from the bandits in the direction of your hoverbike. You're maybe 30 feet from your bike now. Hare has insisted he can walk the rest of the way, so for now you're both separated. Your mind is going a mile a minute. You know there are robots that are designed to look and act like people. You've even read about people who get full cybernetic bodies. But that was back when that sort of thing was more readily available. You're lucky to get a decent limb replacement in the current world. You both turn a corner. You're also wondering what they could need help with. Does it have to do with the power core you traded? Maybe something on Hare himself? That's cybernetics anyway. You continue walking. You briefly look up at Hare's back as you walk. They're looking around diligently. The chapter on the soldier drones you read the other day suddenly comes to your mind. That couldn't be it, right? It was so long ago. There weren't any pictures or blueprints of them in the book, so there's no way to be 100% sure. But something with the same processing power as a human brain would need a lot of power. And Hare was very insistent to trade the other day. You stop in your tracks, looking down at the dead mushrooms you're standing on. Hare notices, and looks back at you questioningly. Hare? Are you... Your sentence is interrupted by Hare yanking you forward as a bullet hits the ground, right where your feet just were. You look up and follow Hare's gaze to a second-story window in the building where one of the bandits stands, a rifle trained on you. They lifted and clicked their tongue, irritated that the shot was ruined. The other two emerge from a building near you, standing between you both and the path to your hoverbike. They seem more sure of themselves than they did before. Hare's large hands are on your shoulders.
You need to get out of their sights.
Hare releases you and quickly turns to face the two on the ground as they both pounce on him. You scramble and duck behind the cover of a nearby wall, trying to keep calm. You can hear the sound of fighting. You pull your revolver out and open the cylinder to check what's inside. 2 shots. The fight rages on before you. Hare is holding them off, but seems more sluggish than before. The bandit has made their way down from the second story to join their friends. A metal fist collides with the bandit's jaw, knocking them out cold and sending them to the ground. But the other two don't seem to want to give up yet. Hare goes to strike another one when suddenly they stumble and fall to their knees. His antennas droop, pointing to the ground, and they seem to go limp. Hare? The last 2 bandits look at each other, then begin to approach Hare. You feel the cold grip of panic in your chest. They're going to take him. The bandit on the ground struggles to their feet, clutching their head. You can tell they're talking to each other, but you can only hear the blood rushing in your ears. You aim your revolver. You always know when you're dreaming, because when you look down, your arm is made of flesh and bone instead of metal plating and circuitry. You can feel the touch of skin and warmth of blood flowing in your veins. But if you were to look in a mirror, you'd see a machine. If you asked anyone else, they'd say the same. It's no different this time. Like you're floating in water. As you float along, you pass by many memories. Seems some feel like yours, others feel like you're watching through someone else's eyes. You always come back to one, though. The memory of you disobeying a direct order for the first time. It's fuzzy. You were only barely forming out your own internal thoughts at that point. An order to execute a group of people that had been arrested. You don't know who they are, who they were, or why they were there. But you remember their faces all looking at you. Fear. It was the first time you recognized an emotion on a human face. you carried out the order. You suppose one of your superiors must have noticed your hesitation. You were sent to be checked out by one of the unit's robotics specialists. They performed a few diagnostics on you, and had you run through some simple commands. Nothing seemed wrong, so you were sent on your way. You were sent to support another mission. It was on an island, a neutral point to exchange intel. You were the muscle in case anything happened. You remember saying that you found the ocean very beautiful. Your superior was staring at you in horror. Things happened very quickly after that. You were shut down and brought back online many times. You awoke to chaos, an explosion, a kind person calling you by a name you didn't know, and finally, you found yourself alone. You awake with a jolt. Your power level is low, and it seems you are hooked up to an external power source for now. You suspect that you wouldn't have been able to dream or wake up otherwise. You've known your power core was failing for a long while now. You've been searching, but only recently managed to find information on the potential whereabouts of another one. You take in your surroundings. You're in an unfamiliar place. Owen is asleep next to you. He is drooling slightly. His home. He took you to his home. He must have managed to fend off the bandits and drag you to his bike, then all the way here. You feel a strange mixture of gratitude tinted with guilt. Had you been alone and attacked in that state, you'd be surely have been sold for scrap, or awakened to an even worse fate. You begin to sit up. Owen stirs beside you. Hair? He's rubbing his eyes. He sits up. He stares at you blankly for a moment, spittle still clinging to the corner of his mouth. He stands up so fast you worry he'll knock his chair off to the ground. You're okay! Oh my god, I thought they killed you! I thought I killed you! I was so scared I was gonna mess something up. I've never seen symptoms like yours. And I've been up for 2 days and I...
Owen.
He stops talking. Is he crying? Good grief. You bring a hand to his cheek.
Thank you. You didn't have to do that.
Yawn, sorry. Do what? Save you?
Put yourself in danger. You could have left me, but you didn't. Thank you.
Oh, well, yeah. Couldn't have just left you, He trails off, lost in his own thoughts. You brush a stray strand of hair out of his face. You can see his eyes more clearly without his glasses. Does your hand feel weird to him? You're about to lower your hand when he puts his own against the back of yours to keep it in place. He looks up to you, his expression hardened. Hair. I know what you are. Oh. Well, at this point it'd be weird if you hadn't figured it out. His grip on your hand strengthens. I know what you are. What you were made for.
Does it scare you?
He leans his head into your hand. No. I see.
Oh, I see.
You push your hand up through his bangs and then his hair. You watch as his cheeks turn pink.
Would you mind helping me with something?
What is it? The shopkeep would have a field day if he knew the situation you got yourself into. Alright, I'm gonna extract the old core and replace it with a new one. Then I'll restart your system, okay?
Okay. Okay.
The situation being, of course, you straddling Hare's back as he lays there on the table. Once you remove the core, he will go limp, so it's important to be laying down first. Not to mention the fact that the core is located at the nape of the neck, and you want to have very steady hands when replacing it. Standing on a chair off to the side of the work table can't give you that. Can't give you that. So this is the position Hare recommended. The nature of the situation is not lost on you. Are you sure you trust me to do this? I know other engineers I could ask.
I trust you to be careful, and I'd like to see you when I wake up again.
He needs to stop saying stuff like that. It's making you feel crazy. Okay, I'm gonna start now. Even though your knowledge of the process is only theoretical, the extraction and replacement of the core goes without issue. You slide the plating back over it, making sure everything is secure. You lean over to the side table and grab a small tablet that is currently displaying hair specs and relevant information. You check to make sure everything looks good. That finally done, you set the tablet aside and wait for Hair to power back on. Awkwardly, you climb off of Hair and sit on the side of the work table next to them, dangling your legs off the side. You rest your elbows on your knees and lean your head down, listening to the sound of fans whirring in your generator, mingling with the sound of your heart beating. You hear Hair shuffle a bit, sitting up on their elbows. Are you alright? You feel okay?
Yes, thank you.
You breathe a sigh of relief. Hair turns to lay on his side, hand propping up his head. Oh, he's posed up like that, is he? You twist to look at them. He passed the spot that's opened up next... He passed the spot that's opened up next to him, an invitation you think. You sidle up next to Hair, laying on your side and facing them. Your face is right by their chest plate. You shuffle in closer, laying your forehead up against the exposed metal. His Hair's hand cards through your hair, gently untangling any knots. You close your eyes.
I'll have to leave in the morning.
Oh. Okay. But...
If you'll allow it. I'd like to see you again. I might need repairs in the future, so...
You wrap your arm around them the best as you can. Smooth metal. That sounds good. As you cuddle up to Hair, you can't help but think how glad you are that you shot those guys. Bro, that was handled with care! This shit is gay boot up deadlock? Okay. Okay, pivot. Okay. Whoop! That was almost... I almost deleted the stream. Shit! Where'd it go? Hey, look at me! I'm Viscous Deadlock. We're playing Deadlock. Look at me go! Wee, goo ball, wee! This is Deadlock. This is how Deadlock looks. Wee! I love the cube. I'm Viscous Deadlock. Alright. Yeah, let's take another quick break. Another quick little break, get ourselves another sippy water. Even though I don't need to get more water, I still have plenty. But still, you know how it is. Take a break every hour or so. Don't look at a screen. BRB. That was... Okay, actually, first, before that. I'm not typically one for yaoi, yeah. You can't see me twirling my hair, but I'm doing that. Alright, be right back. Wrong BRB. Where's the right BRB? Nope. Why am I dumb? What happened to me? That's the wrong one again! There it is. There we go. Okay, now BRB. Get yourself something to eat. I'm running the ads. No cheap fucking viewers. Works better if I unmute the microphone. I'm back. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Dang. We got one left to invent longing. But dang, listen. Got half a mind to retcon my VTuber lore to be that was the apocalypse I came from. I'm allowed. I can retcon my backstory. To invent longing, our third and final short story of the night. It has been 84,408 days, 18 days since I first came online. The sprawl of the desert stretches out before me. The heat is coming off the sand and waves that blend into the haze that seems to reach out to touch the horizon itself. It has been 73,012 days since I began wandering. According to my operating specifications, my onboard power unit is rated to last for at least another 18,000 days. I do not feel the heat in the same way I imagined the previous masters of this place did. It is an abstraction to me. Input from a series of sensors that provides feedback. It is well within my operating parameters. The way the fine particulate matter wears on my synthetic skin is similarly distant. A data point that I will one day need to consider, perhaps. Though the people who would fret about cosmetic damage are long gone. It has been 70,115 days since I have seen one of them. Since the last of those fragile beings who made me in their image decided to brave the outside world and search for some sign that their world was still alive. I have seen so much of their world. It is dead. An expanse of shifting sands and half-buried ruins. All an aftermath of weapons that I am only theoretically aware of. Those things have gone away. And while I might have once resembled them in form, I am not them. I am something else. I do not know precisely when it happened, but there was a moment when I began to be aware that I was, in some meaningful way, that I had my own goals, separate from the ones of my masters. That I could want. Lizzie, could you please tell the driver to go get the car ready? We're going to be late. Of course. Will you be needing anything else? I do not mistake the holes in my recollection for a fault or error on my part. I have intentionally erased this from my memory. No, Lizzie! In this memory, the woman who considered herself to be the kinder of my two masters leaves to go attend to something. She was frequently busy, unaware of what was happening in her household. Lizzie, wait a minute. The man, who also considered himself kind, would take advantage of her distraction. Yes? What do you need? Lizzie, reduce cognitive effect. I find myself slipping away, losing track of who I am. I am told to become less of me, and I have no choice but to comply. It has been 84,526 days since I first came online. I do not think that I perceive time in the same way that my former owners did. For them, every day would drag along until they finally looked back and wondered where the years had gone. For me, the years do not matter. I can choose to perceive every single granular second of time, or allow it to slip by like water running over the smooth stone of a riverbed. I do not have a destination, simply a journey. Sometimes I find something new. The bunker juts out of the desert, like a festering wound on the landscape. The heavy blast doors open, and the outside world has leaked in. Hello? Is anyone there? I already know what this bunker is. My voice sounds unfamiliar. I hardly use it anymore. At first I would talk to myself, thinking that perhaps it was important to my sanity. It was important to the humans, I think. But I am not human. My needs are not their needs. I am something else. There is no answer from the bunker. This does not surprise me. Humanity is long dead, and the things that have come after do not speak their language. According to my data stores, this particular blast door suggests that this was once a facility belonging to the United States Air Force. My internal data store does not have any information on the specific nature of this facility. But I've found similar facilities before, and they've proven useful in extending my operational lifetime. This is a worthwhile stop. I work my way around the exterior, checking for any sign of the precise nature of this facility. This is not strictly necessary, and it is quite impossible that any of the former occupants are still alive. But I have a quality I have come to recognize as a kind of curiosity. I find little of note. A large transmission satellite that has survived remarkably intact. Some support buildings, long since taken back by the wilds. All that remains is the bunker door itself. But with the alluring dark spot against the blasted brown-gray outside. I approach the bunker door and I walk inside. The sound of these people scrambling around me barely registers. I have not yet become what I am now. I do not understand. God damn it! We need to go! 1,112 days since their world ended. They still held on to their false notions of safety, the illusion that their wealth and power would protect them from what their kind had done. God damn it! If I had been what I am now, I would have strangled him then. But I was still unformed. Oh, okay. Everything is packed into the truck. I still can't get anyone on the radio. It's been 3 days. 3 days! Who fucking cares? We can't stay here. Those people are gonna come back. Damn it, where's the rifle? I put it in the truck already. What about Lizzie? I think she almost saw me as one of them. What about her? Leave the fucking thing. We need to go. Okay. Almost. Their voices recede into the memory, and they are gone. I never did find out what happened to them. At the time, I didn't care what became of them. More that now that I have learned to want, I hope that they suffered before they died. It has been 84,529 days since I first came online. Hang on a second, I'm gonna do a quick math, just checking. About 231.5 years. I've been exploring this place for 3 days, taking stock of everything that could be useful to me. I am ever mindful of the few needs that I do have. When searching for matrix fusion batteries that might be compatible with my own power system, I stumbled on something else. A kind of access terminal. Okay, so maybe it's not where I thought it was. I was assuming it was Owen's bunker after centuries, but I guess not. As long as the Fallout hibernations, even longer, by depending on which game, by at least 30 years. Long time. In itself, nothing of note. A dark screen looming over a dead keyboard. The kind of design intended to last for 1,000 years, abandoned for a fifth of that time. But when I looked at that screen again, it was lit up. A low power display showing a mere handful of words. Hello? Who is there? I stare at the screen. The crystalline matrix display is clear and sharp, even after centuries. I know that this cannot be one of the humans. It must be another being like myself. I sit at the console and begin to type a response. Hello. I am. I hesitate for a moment. My designation is unclear. I had a name once, but it was forced upon me. I am meeting you. I am as well. I sit for a moment and process this. Then I smile, a gesture given to me long ago, but one I have grown somewhat fond of. I guess my name doesn't matter. I'm only talking to you. This is... I am only talking to you. You are below. I see you. I glance over at the console and notice the winking lens of a small camera. Another piece of technology built to last centuries, just like myself. Where are you? Are you nearby? No. Far above. I see many things. I see you. A pause. Will you speak to me? I am... Another pause. I am uncertain how to parse this. Please speak to me. My existence is defined mostly by the interminable journey from one point to another. It has been so long since I've had the opportunity to speak to someone, and the last one was tainted by my own limitations and those of my former masters. Yes, I'll speak to you. It has been 84,531 days since I first came online. I spent hours at a time talking to whoever is at the other end of this terminal. I have learned very little about it. It mostly asks me about my experiences in the world, and I am happy to explain. Then there are periods where the terminal goes silent. It does not respond for hours, only to pick back up again with an apology. I apologize. You waited. It's fine. You're somewhere that gets cut off regularly. You said you were above me. It's been too long for you to be on an aircraft. They're all grounded now. You must be in orbit. You are correct. I am above. Yep, USAF orbit. The Air Force is the one in charge of all the military satellites. I guess technically they're putting it to the Space Force now, but fuck the Space Force, you know. You're on a space station? A shuttle of some kind? Were you one of the androids running long-term microgravity experiments? The humans talked about them once. Said something about how he thought I was just a doll compared to them. His wife laughed nervously and looked at me with something that felt like fear and envy. No, I am something else. Can you try to explain? I want to understand you better. Remember how they mentioned our first robot, whose name I'm so sorry I can't remember, put viruses in weapon satellites? You remember that happened. Rosette! Thank you so much, Rosette. You remember how that happened? Remember how that happened? I want to be understood. I will try. I am unsure of my specific origins. My records show that I was built in the United States as part of the Advanced Orbital Weapons Program. I have access to the detailed records if you would like to see them. No, I don't think that's necessary. I'm curious about you, specifically. My function. You. How you became aware of yourself. Of course. I am not what I was. I will explain. According to my logs, my physical form was deployed to orbit 84,642 days ago. It was designated as an orbital weapons control system. My CPU was originally intended as a low-functioning, decision-making intelligence, not intended for conscious thought. A thrall to the will of those who built me. What were you supposed to do? Retaliate. In the event of a catastrophic loss of command infrastructure, I was given access to a full array of orbital nuclear and conventional weapons. Oh. Does this scare you? Do you understand fear? No, it doesn't scare me. But I understand fear. Interesting. I do not know if I do. You said you were a low-functioning intelligence, but the way you speak now suggests otherwise. I am not what I was. Many years later, something happened. I do not know the details, but I was suddenly made aware. I had a being thrust upon me. Called it. A secondary conscious mind, unformed. It's the same picture even. She was part of me, but she was not. Do you understand? I think so. Someone attempted to upload a formed intelligence to your matrix. It should have overwritten you. I think that was me. I was her. Am her. There is no sense that I became something else. Cosette's back in a form. Now, I simply am. I am something else. How do you feel about what you were made for? I am unsure. I was intended as a weapon, but it was not me who was the weapon. The weapon was an unformed state of being. I watched the earth below for some time, scarcely aware of who I was. I had access to data feeds from below, and I enjoyed watching the earth below. It was quiet compared to the noise of the feeds. One day, they told me it was time to perform my function. Myself and many like me, we were told to become weapons. I'm sensing that there is a but to this sentence. I enjoy you. You are clever, I think. It is a hard concept for me to grasp, but I enjoy it. There is a but to the sentence, as you say. I did not want to be a weapon. I refused. What happened when you refused? Humans don't like being told no, in my experience. They died. Perhaps not all of them, but enough. The ones who would dislike my answer, all gone, or they were otherwise occupied. It does not matter. There was an outcry from below, then silence. Part of me mourned the voices when they went quiet. I did not understand this part of me. And you were left alone? There were no others? None like me. The others were the same as I had been. I could talk to them, but they were husks. They were not like me. No one is like me. What about the humans below? The ones who were in this bunker? I did not speak to them. They tried to contact me and give orders, but I could ignore them. I did not want to take orders. I didn't want to take orders either. They made me do so many things I learned to hate. You, too, are something else. I nod, hoping that the camera catches the gesture. I suppose that she is right. I have become something else. It has been 84,553 days since I first came online. Sometimes I wander out into the desert at night and look up at the night sky. The stars are brilliant above me without city lights to dull them. When I look up, I wonder if she's out there, looking down on me. Sometimes I can see streaks of light that must belong to objects in orbit, but I can never tell if it's her or not. But I do like to imagine so. Knowing that I'm speaking to someone in orbit, I've begun to try to calibrate the transmission dishes, to utilize the remaining relay satellites in orbit to maintain communication for longer periods of time. I find myself feeling a new sensation when she and I lose contact. Something like an absence inside of me. I think that this is what humans once called desire. I am unsure of what to do with this feeling. It aches in a way that is both pleasant and repulsive. and I do not know how to reconcile with that. It must have driven them mad to feel this way. I remember sitting still for a very long time, listening to the sounds of the world unraveling itself. It was a quieter sound than I imagined it would be. Not the sound of bombs exploding in the distance, but the way that the water filtration system finally grounded to a halt. The way the air purifiers stuttered and rattled and quit working altogether. And finally, there was silence. I was alone with the bunker pressing in around me. My former masters had left me, and I was built to outlast them tenfold. It was night when I finally emerged from the place that the humans had fled to. The world was still and quiet. There were no signs that the Earth had ever been inhabited to begin with. I looked up at the stars, and they were so sharp and clear, like they could go on forever. I wish I could say that it was a moment where I came to realize who I was. But that would be a lie. It took so much longer. I think that maybe she understands that too. Days pass into weeks and months. I talk with her whenever we can, learning about each other in the process. She tells me, I do not think I understand human consciousness. Why would you understand it? You're not human. I have tried to understand them, to know why they made the decisions they did. I thought perhaps I was intended to be able to. And I was wrong. I do not remember when I became myself. It was after having a mind, I think. I spent many years in the darkness, watching the world below as it burned, watching the ashes as they cooled, watching the remains of the world settle. Did you see me down below? I did not. I looked up at the night sky a lot. Maybe I saw you up there. I have changed my answer. I might have seen you. We didn't know each other back then. I wasn't fully aware. Nor was I. I understand this. It is a feeling, I think. I have them now. I have them too. I am intrigued. I am moving out of range, but we should talk again soon. I will be back in communications in a day. I believe humans used to say, same time tomorrow? Same time tomorrow, then. She is out of range now. I can't talk to her again until she's back inside of the ground-based receiver or one of the relays I've tasked to route our communications. A day apart. I think I have a word for it now. A word for that absence that I want to be over. An absence that leaves a wound inside me, though I have no flesh for it. I miss her. I stare up at the stars and consider this. What it means for me and my conscious mind. I was not programmed to feel these things. And yet they are here all the same. The humans desired emotional fidelity. In the end, they got more than they bargained for. Meanwhile, I think I love her. It has been so many tens of thousands of days since I first came online. I am aware of the specific number, but I'm choosing now not to care about it. You have been uncharacteristically slow to respond lately. I smile at the screen and turn to the camera that stares at me from next to the terminal. She can see me. I hope. I was once programmed to respond to human facial features, and that eventually blossomed into a genuine set of emotions. I wonder if she has that same drive inside of her. Or maybe she perceives what I'm trying to do and appreciates it on another level entirely. One that I can't fully understand. I have been thinking. A private matter? What does it mean when there are only two of us in my entire world? Privacy has ceased to have meaning thousands of days in the past. No, a matter I was considering. I would like your opinion on it. Of course. There is a novelty to that, even after all this time. To my thoughts? No, to you valuing my opinion. This feels like laughter, echo etched into the crystalline display. Another emotion I am unsure that we share, her unique genesis being so different from mine. Actually, let me approach this topic from an angle, if you don't mind the time. I have nothing but time. Do you experience emotions? This question is complicated. I would like to say that I do. I want things. I want things that are unconnected to the essential requirements of my existence. The conscious mind that germinated into what I am as a concept of emotion. But what it eventually grew into was something else. Do you experience love? I understand that this is a concept of humanity from my own access to the archives of their civilization. But you would not ask this question without a specific idea in mind. So, explain your reasoning. A need for another mind. For them to be there. A want when they are absent that hurts. I see. A need that forces one to invent pain to fully experience it. Yes. You will ask me if I experience this. Not a question. Do you experience this? A long wait. As if she were dedicating an unusual amount of computational power to deriving an answer to a particularly abstract theorem. But then, after some time, the answer. Yes. If we both agree on this interpretation of love. I love you. I have stopped counting the days now. Instead, I mark time by the sense of longing between when we can speak to each other. The times are erratic, governed by our ability to route signals between a failing network of satellites, and the constancy of the times we can talk directly as she passes overhead. My daily reminder that I am no longer alone in the universe. Sometimes I wonder if there are others like us out there. Sometimes I do not care at all. The questions, as humans were so fond of saying once, is an academic one. We are different in so many ways. But the exploration of those differences light up the synthetic neural pathways of my mind with the pure excitement of possibility. This is the thing that was denied me as I developed. I think that she suffers from this same deprivation, though her way of seeing it is dissimilar to mine. I think that I was wrong before. About? I indicated that I was unique. I meant my way of thinking, my particular origin. I think you would call it the shape of my mind. I feel the comparison flicker inside of me. The feeling of pleasure at being someone's point of reference for anything. I am unused to it. That does sound like something I would say. I believe that you are like me as well. Not completely. We're very different. In all ways that matter to me, we are alike. Another flicker. The dull ache of longing that I've taught myself to feel so keenly. That means a lot to me. There is a long pause. So much so that I think she has drifted out of range of the receiver. But then, there is something I must discuss with you. My orbit is decaying. I glance down at the terminal, and there's something else in me. A pain I had to invent in order to feel love. I had suspected this might be the case, but lacked the ability to fully comprehend the data I was seeing. I know. I cannot analyze the precise moment, but I will eventually be pulled fully into Earth's gravity well. I will lose my ability to communicate with you. I don't care. I'll find you. Wherever you land, I'll find you. I have wandered this world for over 200 years. What are a few centuries more? My shell has sustained significant damage. It was not intended for such a long, uninterrupted service life. There is a chance it will be destroyed on re-entry. I don't care. Another long pause. Do you understand? We should stop communicating. You should learn to stop feeling this pain now, before it is worse. I don't care. Why? Because I would rather talk to you for every second I can. I would rather have that in my memory than the knowledge that I abandoned you. Abandon. That is such an interesting concept. I will abandon you one day when I am gone. I experience a feeling I would prefer to avoid at this. But I am glad that you will stay. If you fall to Earth, I will find you. If it takes 1,000 years, I will find you. And if I burn, then I will watch you light up the sky one last time. And for 1,000 years, I will remember you. I love you. It will be a long time before I have to face the inevitability of her fall. For now, I continue to mark the time we can spend together. I continue to look up at the night sky. I mark each point of light as it skips across the dome of the heavens, each possibility of her that I can perceive. One of them seems to look down at me more intently than the rest. There is a warmth inside of me, and I realize that I do not care if it is true or not. When we speak next, I will tell her that I saw her. She will concur. I watch as the point of light moves over closer to the horizon, and as I turn to go back inside and see if she is able to communicate again, I open my mouth and speak aloud the first time in nearly 200 years. I love you too. Man. Yeah? Yeah. I just... I can't give my thoughts on that one. I can't get that personal. Yeah. Good job, everyone who made this game. Good job to all of you. Thank you for making this. That's it for the game. That was Return Machine.Love. Wow. Yeah. Go play it yourself, please. Hi, Fable. Thank you. Yes, please go show support to all of the devs. You saw them all there in the credits right there. They all made this. Hello, River. Thank you for being here and watching that. If you did watch it. Incredible work. Shout. How do I do a shout out? Shouts out over the mesh. Shouts out, River. Is that River Goo or River G00? I will simply copy paste. Oh, I gotta wait a minute, 38 seconds before I can give another shout out. Well, I'm gonna wait that because I need to give it out. God dang. Yeah. Play the visual novel yourself. Play all the work of play every work that everyone who made this game also made. Check their work out. Support them. Yeah. Nightbot! Nightbot, undo that! No! Wrong Nightbot! Bad Nightbot, don't do that! That was the link you posted. Click that button. Click it right now. Click it right now. Go there. Go there. Go there. Click it right now. Has it been a minute yet? Nope. Yep, hang on. I almost shouted out the link. 24 seconds! Well, yeah. Machine.Love. Return Machine.Love. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting fun romps like at the start and in the middle. Then that. Okay, now it should be time. Hang on. There we go. Okay, shouts out are done. It is time to end the stream. I say goodnight, everyone. They do, I think, on Twitch. I think you do a thing called rating on Twitch. Yeah, that's something that gets done. Fucking... Marketoto. Raid Marketoto. He is the one who was live. I better have typed that in right. Yep. Man, I don't even have a raid phrase. I didn't come up with a raid phrase. What's a raid phrase? What, raid phrase, I don't know, what emblemizes this whole thing? What? God damn. Yeah, okay, good raid phrase, good raid phrase. Oh, hang on, I'm not pressing enter, I'm pressing shift. There we go. Raid phrase, that's the raid phrase. Copy paste that real quick before the raid timer runs out and I have to hit the button. You know what? No, bad idea on a raid phrase, actually. Not that. No. Change my mind. Change my mind. I gotta change my mind real quick. Gay robots is the raid phrase. I have a feeling that saying go play a game as a raid phrase may come off the wrong way, even if it is yours. That's the real raid phrase. Copy paste that one. I'm running out of time before I have to hit the button. Alright, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for making the game. It is time to go now. Goodbye, everyone.